Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe podcast. I am your host, Joe, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Joe.
It's not coffee tonight. We're cutting back. I'm trying to be a new man, so I replaced it with alcohol. But, guys, this was a very good Attack on Titan episode. I like this episode quite a lot.
Yes, I concur with you 100%. I know we had some, like last week we were talking about, like, oh, it's going to be an EVA ending, and it's going to have a clip show. Oh, the next episode's called Retrospective or whatever. And we were a teensy bit worried about that. Also, we got it wrong. There wasn't 3 episodes remaining. There was only 2. Now there's only 1 after this. So, oh boy. But they're tying up loose ends, Joe. Let me just tell you. So again, episode 86 of Attack on Titan, Retrospective, full spoilers. Here we go. It's a pretty good episode. It is very action-packed, and there's a lot of stuff that happens in it. We might not hit on everything, but we'll touch everything that we touch on. You're gonna love.
We're touching everything.
Love the stuff we talk about.
We like to touch things.
Very good. So this episode continues where we left off with the soul-crushing murder that Connie commits.
And it just breaks the dam because, oh my god, is his killing spree sexy as shit. Damn.
I don't know if I would use the word sexy.
Oh no, come on.
But remember
now.
how last week I said I didn't watch Attack on Titan for Connie?
Yeah.
I might be watching Attack on Titan for Connie now.
I think
I'm just saying.
I think he heard you. I think he was like, "The fuck did Joe say about me?"
Yeah, he was like, "Oh fuck this bitch," and he just was like, "All right, A game, baby, here we go." But it's just an all-out battle. It's an all-out war between the alliance of, the crew and the Paradise crew and the Marley crew against the Jaegerists. That's all this episode is essentially. We find out some shit where it's like, oh, we can't get the flying boat. It's just a plane. Up and running for like a full day or something like that, and they're like, we can't do that. Hanji does some quick math, and she's like, yeah, the rumbling it's already in Liberia. It's all going to get destroyed if we wait that long. Apparently, the time scale is they have 4 days before the rumbling destroys everything. They want to stop it as soon as possible, but like just so we have a timer now. 4 days, Joe. But so all the Azumabito, is that the clan? Mm-hmm. Yes. Fucking got it. Let's go. The Azumabito guys are just like, yeah, we have time scales. We can't do it. And then the clan leader, she's just like, I have a port over here. We can service it there. And while we're on the way there, we can, do whatever the fuck we need to do to speed it along. And they're like, I guess that's good enough. It's a 50-50 chance whether it's going to be crushed by the rumbling or not. So they're going to go on with that. But so that's like the boring, like, okay, this is why we're doing all this action-y bullshit out of the way. Because then we actually get on to most of what this episode is, which is just all the fights between everybody. Like, Joe, take away some of these fights. What was going on here?
Annie and Reiner were kicking ass. But damn, those fucking thunder spears pack a punch, and the gore that seeing Annie's head fall off, I was like, oh my. Like, that is quite intense. And even, like, her hand, when she's protecting some of the Azumabito, like, seeing some of the chunks fall and hearing it, I was like, ooh, they did a good job with that. But Annie and Reiner kind of get fucked. Really, it's the scouts that do a great fucking job. Like, Jean is a fucking sharpshooter. Mikasa, I mean...
She's on a whole... another, like, she's from a different anime.
Yeah.
She always has been. Her and Levi, they're from fucking Dragon Ball, and then everyone else is from Attack on Titan, because they all get, smacked around like ragdolls. But, fucking Christ, dude, there's a point, I don't know if you're about to get to this or whatever, but there's a point that I just have to talk about with Mikasa.
The rain?
Where, yes, and, like, the stuff leading up to the rain, Jesus Christ. She is fighting these Jaegerists, and she decapitates one in her Beyblade actions. She throws the corpse, the headless corpse, into what I can only assume is his friend or at least comrade. And this guy looks up terrified from the corpse to Mikasa, who like ninjas over there and skewers both of them. And in doing so, she then unpins one of the thunder spears on one of the dead guys, pulls out her blade, zips away, and just stands like, you know, cool guys don't look at explosion style, as their bodies just explode and then it rains blood on her. And she's just like, I can't stop and think about this. I have to keep going. Don't hesitate. Just keep going. And I'm like, you're going to need a lot of therapy after this, dude. Like, I mean, decades of fucking therapy.
Like, that campfire is going to have to happen at least twice a week. Everybody's getting back together and having that nice campfire that, like, there's going to be so much trauma. But yeah, even if you don't like Mikasa or you don't feel the way I feel about her, the choreography for these fights, literally the ODM gear scenes were insane. Like, I thought the Titan scenes were great, absolutely fantastic, specifically for one Titan. But the ODM shit was fantastic. So fucking cool. Again, Connie just goes fucking berserk after he gives Armin to Maggot. He's like, hold him, I'll go protect them. And the choreography, I literally was just shocked. I was like, wow, did they like... The animation on this episode felt better too. Like, everything seemed sharper. And it was so great to just get some good fucking action. And I loved how... I kind of love how Flock started shitting his pants and he got fucked. I really wish we saw him just get like, boom, shot to the head, confirmed dead. Now it's like, oh, he got shot in the arm and he fell into the ocean. Will he live or die? The world will never know.
Oh, he's coming back. There's no fucking way he's gone. But yeah, to the ODM gear stuff, I still don't think they're quite at the level of what was able to do.
But we just haven't seen this nice in quite a while.
No, from MAPPA, they haven't done any ODM gear scenes this nice, which is kind of sad because this is the second to last, supposedly, episode, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, all of the ODM stuff, the stuff with Connie, the stuff with Mikasa, Hanji has a very brief moment of some badass ODM gear scene stuff when she comes onto the rooftops with all the Jaegerists.
She instills the fear of 1,000 angels into Flock when you look into his eyes and he sees Hanji coming for him. He's like, yes. Oh no.
He's like, oh, because at this point, he thought she was dead, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, so she just comes around back and she's just like, oh, surprise, I'm still alive. And he's like, fuck. I think his fear... I mean, it's probably because Hanji's in front of him with a very big box cutter, number one. But number two is the fact that this probably means that Levi's still alive. And he's probably fucking terrified because of that. Or maybe he's just terrified of the massive box cutter wielded by the one-eyed psycho bitch. Anyway, they have a bit of a kerfuffle scuffle. And that might be my favorite bit of animation for the entire episode. Because they have, like, they're running across rooftops, Hanji fucking blade towards him, and he does something, it's not quite the same, but it mirrors, if you remember in Season 1, when Annie, female Titan, like, hardened hand, punches out Aaron's bottom jaw, and then his eyes glow up, and he just fucking shreds his teeth going up her arm, and then punches Annie. I feel like there's like almost a bit of like a visual symmetry in this where like the blade goes past Flock's face and then Flock is just like, and he like angrily like moves his head not across the blade but like behind the blade towards Hanji again to do his attack. And I was just like, whoa, that was weird. Like it just felt so similar to me. But then he obviously gets like bombarded by... It's either the car Titan. No, it's the car Titan. It comes blasting up through the roof, and he just manages to jump out of the way and launches out. And that's what he was aiming to do, it seems, from the beginning of that, because he's like, all right, everyone is trying to escape on the boat. And he's like, if I blow a hole in the hull of this boat, they can't fucking escape. And so he's got the shot lined up, and in classic anime fashion, he just has to interior monologue for about 17 fucking hours as he lines up this shot, and it's like, I will be the fucking savior of Eldia if I do this. And so, of course, he gets shot by Gabby, who's on the hull of the ship, and of course, we know she's a pretty good sharpshooter, and he gets shot, throws his aim off by just a tad, Thunder Spear hits the ocean, explodes, raining more bloody water down on everyone. There's a lot of raining blood imagery in this episode.
Kinky.
But then he, of course, collapses into the ocean, and we don't see him for the rest of the episode, which of course means
He's alive.
there's no body. He's alive.
Exactly. He's starting his own country. He's gonna show up on an island and be like, "I call this an island flock." Not even like adding like a dia to the end or like something where you're like, "Oh yeah, that sounds like a country." He just calls it flock.
Yeah,
Kind of
he's
like
too much of a diva.
kind of like Chad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But so yeah, all those fights are happening. Pretty cool stuff. The whole idea is we need to get onto the boat so we can kind of service the airplane somewhere else.
Canonically, a flying boat.
Yes. But I think the biggest thing in this episode is Falco uses his Jaw Titan. We see it for the first time, and I'm so happy because I didn't see a leak of what this looked like at all. I was really
Right.
nervous that like through the coming weeks or something, like I was gonna see like a manga slice of like what he looks like. But I gotta say, I think he looks fucking sick, and I love how they make him
Okay.
look bird-like, like a falcon or something like that.
Interesting. I was going to ask you what your thoughts on the design was, because he really is just a buff chicken. Is kind of what I got out of it, which might be showing my hand a bit. But I'm not exactly a very big fan of this design for the Jaw Titan. I don't.
I like how
find
different
it's-
it is. I don't know. I like it way better than the other one. I thought the other one, Galliard's, was stupid. I think I would pick this any day over Galliard's.
I wasn't. I haven't been a fan of any of the Jaw Titan designs. Like they all look pretty gremlin-y. Like first Ymir's was definitely weird, just a weird big head and sharp teeth and tiny body. Like that entire thing was just that was unnerving. Then you have Porco is also a bit strange, but it was more proportioned. Just a big white face and all that sort of stuff, and like the weird white claws. But the thing about both of theirs, between Ymir and Porco, both of their Jaw Titans looked like Titans. Porco's looks like a Titan and a chicken fucked and then made something else. And I'm like, that doesn't look like. I mean, it's a Titan, but it doesn't really look like it. It looks like an armored warrior almost. And I'm like, that's too much. Titan designs are best, in my opinion, when they're very simple. Beast Titan, monkey. Attack Titan, it's just a dude's body with a bigger jaw and like elf ears. Like that's essentially all it is. I mean, the female Titan is just a woman's body without any skin. It's fucking creepy when you think about it that way. Armor Titan, just a dude with not armor, but like the Titan hardening. I'm having a stroke. Pause for effect. Okay, back. It's just armor, Titan hardening armor all over his body. So like I look at his design and I'm just like, we got a lot to unpack here. All right, you've got the fucking chicken talons that are like armored up and then the claws on the end, and then you've got like the weird fur/feathers going on that cover everything except like the goods, just like Super Saiyan 4. And then you have like the weird, it's not one continuous jaw. It's like he's got a human-ish face, and then he's got like a bird mask on top of that. I'm like, I just feel like you could have simplified the design a little bit. Like this, it seems like too much, a little too much.
I just simply disagree. I don't know what else to say besides I disagree, and I find it pretty sick. Like this whole episode, I pretty much watched with my mouth open, like. It really all started when I saw Mikasa wipe the blood from her face, and I was like, "Oh boy, that's only the beginning, isn't it?" And then Connie happens.
It's only the beginning.
She gets another. All this stuff happens, and then even just seeing, like I said, I'm a big fan of Falco's design, so I liked it. And I kind of like how he kind of couldn't control himself, where Peak was like, "Oh, the first transformation's never good, buddy. I don't know about that one."
Good.
And he's like,
remember back to Aaron's first transformation?
Yep.
Just fucking in Trost, just obliterating everything. He's just like, I'm gonna kill everything.
Yeah, and I love how he's like fucking giving he's fucking giving his hands, like getting like a screwdriver into. He's like, "Why won't I transform?" And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I'm like, do they not teach this in Titan school? Like, isn't this 101 how to cut yourself? Like, what the fuck? Why did it
I mean, he
take
cut
you so
himself.
long?
I just think it's the first time, man. He's young. He's got to figure it out. This
Uh,
isn't a metaphor for anything in life.
and oh god, and pretty much the big other thing that happens in this episode is we find out that reinforcements were supposed to be coming to help out the Jaegerists, but the train blew up, and they're all like, "We don't know who did that, but peace and thank you to you." We find out it was Shadis, and Shadis was also the person who was looking from the rooftop thing when they all left, which I said earlier in
Yes, you
a
did.
couple episodes before. And him and Magath team up because Magath stays. He's like, oh, I'll protect the rear. You know, you guys go ahead. I'll meet you there. And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, oh, he's dead. He's 100% dead. So seeing Shadis is alive and them working together, like the parallels of like, wow, you were the teacher of the scouts, and then you were the teacher of the Titan users. Like, it was pretty cool to see the two different sides of that and how they come together. And at the end of the day, they both regret what they did, but they're also just good people and they want to make a difference. So they end up blowing the captured Marleyan ship that could possibly catch up to them. And seeing Gabby's reaction to Magath die was definitely a bit of a heartbreaker there. I think they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, I agree. I love how the two mentor characters that, again, because they have the parallels between people say like Gabby is just Aaron if he spawned on the enemy teams, whatever thing, which she definitely was. So it's very cool to see both of their mentors, the people who taught them how to fight, teaming up together because they're like, we don't care who's right or wrong. We just want everyone. We just want the fighting to fucking stop. And so they're just kind of like the older men. They've been through some shit, and they're just like, all right, we know what we have to do, and we're gonna do it. I love the choice to cut out the sound when the explosion occurs. It really helps elevate the impact and the seriousness, or not so much the seriousness, but the emotion of the scene.
Yeah, you're not gonna
It just
cry during that because I mean these two aren't like super main characters, but at the same time you're like, damn, like they did a good job paying them their dues. You know what I mean?
Yes. And again, tying up, as I was saying, starting to tie up some of these loose ends. We've got a lot of characters, we've got a lot of things rolling right now. Taking out two of these characters who have been either on the fringe of stuff to intrinsically tied to whatever the fuck is going on with the end of the series, you're starting to clean house a little bit. And so I'm like, okay, there's two.
Yep.
We got about 37 more.
Yeah. So guys, that's our review for the episode. Now to actually get into the fucking important stuff. There's one episode of Attack on Titan left, technically. And we haven't seen Eren. Literally, there's okay. Joe and I were talking about this. I'm really happy. This was a great episode. I really enjoyed this, but at the same time, I am the faith bar. There's none really right now on if they can pull this thing off just with one episode. It's just not possible. Like, I haven't read the manga. Joe and I don't know what the ending actually is, so who knows? Maybe like no, the ending's pretty much just right there, and they can do it in 20 minutes. But I'm fairly certain there isn't. So there's all this talk going around, the internet. Oh my goodness, is there going to be a season 4 part 3? Is it going to be an extended episode for a finale? Or is there going to be a fucking movie? Now, Joe and I, we have strong opinions about these. Very, very strong opinions where there were we met up recently and I used some metaphors in a car and went on a whole rant. It was... If we had recorded it, damn, it would have been a nice part of the podcast. But I didn't, and I'm not going to bring the metaphor back up because it's quite vulgar. But what the fuck are they going to do? I don't know. I really don't know. And I'm nervous because I don't think they can pull it off. That's how I'm feeling right now.
Yee. This is just pure speculation zone now where we're just like, okay, what's next? Both of our hopes are that it's like an extended,
like a 40-minute
final
episode. That would be sick.
Yeah.
Like, make an event out of it. 40-minute special, like, that would be really cool.
Yeah. And dude, it's called The Dawn of Humanity is the next episode's name, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, that's a great title for an episode. And I mean, granted, if there is a movie later on down the line that ties things up, if that is what happens, and it's good. I wouldn't be too peeved about that, but like I just feel like there'd be something so special about ending on something called the dawn of humanity, because that could go either way. Obviously, I mean it very heavily leans towards a certain way. That being, you stop Aaron from the fucking rumbling and killing off most of humanity.
I think differently,
But I mean,
but we don't need to discuss that. That would be getting
Yeah.
into way too much.
way too much discussion of like weird.
What a
we don't know what the
title
fuck's
could
happening.
mean.
Yeah, exactly. I just think it's a sick fucking title.
It is.
And I just hope we get something that is, that actually closes off this series properly. And if that is a movie, so be it. I just hope that they've had all this build up for the final season for 2 fucking years.
Yeah.
Calling it the final season, to not blue ball us again and say, all right, you got to wait another year for a movie
Because
or
we're
whatever.
in
I'm just
the
like,
same exact spot that we were last year when Joe and I were like, wow, like we're like 10 episodes into this and doesn't feel like it's going to be the end. And then Joe and I remember, oh yeah, they did a part 2 for season 3. And I remember that moment when we realized that, being like, oh, that's so sick. This is crazy. We didn't expect that. Not this fucking time. I don't feel that way. I feel the exact opposite. Like, you can tease me once and it'll be fun, but twice? Like, come on. No. You can only use that trick once. And, yeah, an extended final episode would be great. If you have a movie made and you literally are like, come see the movie, we're releasing it next month. Not only do I think that would be, the internet would go insane, you would get crazy sales. Like, I think that would work. I would go insane. I would like that. But if you tell me we're working on a movie, it's not coming out till next year in Japan, so that means we have to wait like 6 more months to get it in America, then I'm just actually frustrated. And of course, there is the option of, oh, actually, no, we're going to finish this all up in 20 minutes, which I put that at the bottom of, that is the least likely and also what I would least want. I'd rather have a movie over them trying to cram this all into 20 minutes.
yeah. So, a lot of speculation, a lot of curiosity. Some people, mostly just anime watchers, are just like, what the fuck is happening? What the fuck is going on? I know what's happening. And then I'm sure all the manga readers are sitting back like, haha.
Big thing, though.
I have no idea.
Big thing, though, if you haven't heard, the last episode, which originally was supposed to come out next week on the 27th, has been pushed back 1 week. And now, apparently, MAPPA's making a Attack on Titan announcement at this, like, anime festival in Japan. So, who knows what that's going to be, but we won't be here. Maybe we'll be here next week talking about the announcement. But
We will see.
we will not be talking about an episode because then we have to wait 2 weeks for the quote-unquote final episode. But that's it for me.
Alrighty. And I think that'll be it for me as well. Ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between, thank you for listening to us ramble on and on. We hope you're enjoying Attack on Titan, and we hope it ends well in whatever form that may take. Hopefully this doesn't end up in r/poorly aged things. But, that being said, everyone, we'll love you, we'll leave you, and goodbye.